LSC meeting, general meeting, Taft meeting. Glad you can make it. Just a note before we get started, sign in outside for contact tracing. If you have a public comment, we have a sheet right here. If you are online and you have a public comment, you will be heard during the public comment time after anybody who's in person. You just need to leave a note in there, and I would leave a note later when we get closer to public comment. I want to thank all of our LSC volunteers for being here again this evening and helping out Taft and making Taft, keeping Taft a great school. And I want to welcome any in-person and online new, going to be very new LSC members for the next term, the 2022 to 2024 term. All right. So, Anita, if you'd like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. I'd like if you could do the roll call, please.
Roll call.
Yep. Oh, yeah, sorry, did you not hear me? Okay. Here.
Here. Here. Present. Here.
Is Julieta up there?
She actually is not there. I just read something in the,
Okay.
she hurt her back and she cannot.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we didn't. I hope you feel better, Julieta. Mary is not. Is she up there? She was not feeling well.
Here.
Is Amelia up there? Nope. Okay. Princess up?
She was sick there. I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so we don't have anybody from the LSC online, correct? So we don't need to vote on that, having them participate. Okay. LSC virtual members, approval of today. Okay, so we're going to move to 2B, approval of today's agenda.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Now we have the approval of the minutes from April 5th in the packet. I'm not. There we go.
Do we have people in the
All
crowd?
those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining?
Are there people in the crowd that are LSC reps for next year?
Yes, we will. Well, I just wanted to get that, make sure that we were all good on that. Okay.
I want to give them these.
Yes. If anybody is here from the LSC in person or online, we'll go with in person first. If you'd like to just give a brief introduction and tell us who you are and what your rep position is, so we can get to know you.
Let's go with Dean in the back.
Do you want to go ahead and start, Dean?
Father of 5 daughters, 3 are in high school, 3 are college, and 2 years. I'm a CPS employee. I just started my 40th year with CPS March.
Wow.
I started in 1982. Achievement year right now is the high school. Part of that was achievement year lane, Boston High School. And so we need like to bring some knowledge to CPS. I'm familiar with budgeting and everything. So thank you.
Dean, come on up and get. I have a thing for you here. It's one of our APs, but I'll make a copy for them tomorrow, and you can follow along, okay? And then everybody else, welcome, Dean.
And Anne, if you want to.
And Boyle, I've got, well, a senior who's graduating, and a freshman academy this year. I also have a 5th grader who will probably follow his siblings as well. close with my daughter when she was at court, with coaching, and just really enjoyed being part of the school, and with those lives, and, hoping to really be part of the school of where my kids are at, so.
Thank you.
All
Mary.
right, thank you. You have, is there anybody online?
We have one more over here.
Oh, we do? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even,
Yeah.
hiding back there. Hi.
So I'm really happy that that experience. So, part of that. I was a CS teacher.
Thank
Paul.
you.
Come on, Paul.
Okay.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for being here.
Okay. So if, I don't think there's anybody up there, if I'm correct, Margie or Maribel. All right. Thank you for coming tonight, and thanks for volunteering, running on the LSC. Look forward to seeing you guys in action. All right, we're going to move to item number 4, COVID safety updates. I know you said that, the APs aren't here. Did you have?
The only thing I'll give you on COVID updates is we are getting an uptick with the COVID cases right now. It seems like more people are getting COVID, but it's less severe. But we're definitely an uptick. We're probably a month ago, we were down to maybe 1 quarantine a day. We might be up to about 10 or 20 right now. And as a couple people go off, they go on. But there's a definite uptick, but not like it was in early January or anything like that. But there is a noticeable uptick. That's all I have.
Ms. Trebbing, did you have anything from the Taft COVID Safety Committee?
No, nothing to add. I mean, we haven't met as a committee, but I mean, it's definitely like we're seeing it as staff members out, we're seeing it as teachers, quarantine, we have students that are required to mask, and teachers are managing.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ms. Trebbing. And then 4C is student mental health counseling or BHT. I don't know if there's anybody here who has anything to share, Ms. Devine. If you do, if you don't, that's fine.
I'd like to share real quick.
Yeah.
I did before the meeting today, I did get a phone call from Senator Martwick. He was asking us what we thought of the 5 days that were given to a lot of kids for what they're calling mental health days. And he was asking for my opinion as a administrator in the 2nd largest school and the 3rd largest school district. And I told him I thought it was a really good idea, especially not just because it's May is the mental health month, but I think it really gives our kids an excuse to just, if they're not feeling well, something's not right, that they can say, I'm going to take a mental health day, and they don't have this stigma associated with it. Okay. And he's like, well, but Mark, are kids using this as an excuse to get out of school? And I said, no, they're not. I said, the kids will use it. It's 80 degrees outside. That's why I'm not going today. So they don't need a built-in excuse. It really is. It gives validity to mental illness out there, which I think is important in society today, where it's such a stigma that it's being recognized by society right now. So I think it helps a lot of our kids. I don't think a lot of our kids use it right now, but we have had some kids that use it, and I think it's really important. So.
Right. Karen, add to that?
Yeah.
Because my daughter did use it after
Okay.
Grandma came home from the hospital.
Right.
And she was really just kind of overwhelmed. And she said, Mom, can I take a day? I said, absolutely. Call the attendance office, leave a message. I was blown away. I almost immediately got a call back saying, your daughter's taking a mental health day. We wanted to call. Does she need additional services? Do you need help? Is there anything else? The response from the school regarding that mental health day, and I thanked her up the wazoo, and I said, thank you so much for that. I said, she really just needs a rest day, but I appreciate that they're doing that for the kid who maybe does need that call, does need someone reaching out. It was.
Or does need that time right now.
Yes.
If anybody saw the 60 Minutes this last weekend, I mean,
Yeah.
people, if you need help, because sometimes it's up to 2 months to have a therapist call you back and stuff like that. So it does kind of let air out of the emotional balloon that you're in and kind of helps us out in that. So I think it's really good. And
So
so
the fact that Taft responded so quickly, it's
Well-
a mental health day. Is there something you need? Is there something we could do? I was really impressed.
that's my staff, that's our
It was-
counselors, and that's it, yeah.
It was the only one she
Yeah.
used. So she worked with same thing, and I got ours too.
Mhm.
And I was amazed too. She called, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
My daughter suffers from anxiety, so those days, really important, and they're just. Yeah.
Right. So you're bragging on my staff? Okay, I wonder. I'm used to it. I hear it all the time.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that update. And I'm sure everybody received there was an email from CPS about our mental health month. So I hope you all received that. And if you didn't notice it, go back in your emails and check it out. Okay, we're going to move to number 5, reports. And our first report is the principal's report.
Okay, a lot of little things have been happening this last month since we met. First and foremost, I like to brag about it, but for the 4th year in a row, which means every senior graduating this year, when they've been to Taft, they've been in a school that's been recognized by U.S. News and World Reports as one of the best high schools in the nation. So that's our 4 years in a row. It's never been done before that. Right now, we're on a 4-year winning streak right now. So that's huge. And again, I'll take 1% of that, but all the other teachers and staff members can take 1% of that too. So that's huge. And again, our kids. Next one is CPS. Although the budget wasn't as vibrant or as good as I thought it would be, they did give us a couple of positions, which were nice. And one of them, we had talked to our leadership teams about, we kind of brainstormed about these would be the 12 positions that could fit the criteria. We met as a leadership team. We crossed what we thought. We brought it to the secondary leadership team who looked it over. And so we came up with a new teacher coach that can help all of our new teachers, since we do have a lot of new staff. I think we have probably 60 teachers here that are in their first 3 years of teaching. Some are veteran teachers, I understand that, but a new teacher coach would be wonderful. An SEL classroom management coach, which for people that don't know, SEL is social emotional learning. It's just what we talked about, mental health. How do you touch a kid's heart in the class? It's not curricular based, it's more emotional based. And we're starting to see how that is so important, almost more important than curriculum right now. So we're going to have a management coach, and then we're going to have a data strategist intervention coordinator, which is going to run a lot of numbers for us. And then we can pinpoint and target areas that need interventions right away. So those are the 3 positions. Let's go with one off the top of my head. Let's go with kids that have more than 45 first period absences.
Okay, so focusing on our kids.
Oh, always.
Okay,
Yeah.
so data around the kids' performance.
Exactly, yeah. But you know what? You bring up a good point, and it doesn't preclude us from looking at maybe our teachers too and staff. So, I mean, now that you say that, that's a good idea. Thank you. This is huge. 46 Taft teachers, students, are on track to graduate with at least 15 college credits, which is a 170% increase. So which means they have the first semester of say when they go to Wright College, it's done. Okay, I'm sorry, the first year. The first year is done for Wright College. And so they're going to start as a sophomore. So a lot of them are good students, so they're going to be on the STAR scholarship, which they'll get it for free. But again, they're 1 year ahead of everybody else. So that's huge. So we're going to keep going with that. And then last year we administered, I believe, 1,200 AP tests, advanced placement tests. For anybody that doesn't know, I don't mean to be condescending, but maybe some people don't know acronyms here. AP is advanced placement. So when you take the test and you get like a 5 or a 4, you get college credit, where the college will say, yes, you have done enough to where you earn college credit. Last year we gave 1,200 tests. This year we just administered 2,134 tests. Okay, been saying it for 8 years. This is our kids eating their educational vegetables. No longer am I going to take, hey, Mr. G, I'm a senior now. I take off, I get here late, I leave early, and we don't do that anymore. The kids are taking rigor in their classes, and it's paying off. Another big one, which is huge, Miss Trejo, in our art department, won the 2022 Golden Apple Award. That's huge. That's the Academy Award of Teaching. Okay, only 10 are awarded every year in Illinois, and we have one here at the school. It was the hardest secret I had to keep for about 10 days when I knew they were coming, and I couldn't even leak it out a little bit. Even in my APs, like, you should have told us. I'm like, I was sworn to secrecy. We had it last Monday, and it was the first one because I wanted to be the first one where Ms. Trejo gets it the first one. Because what happens is you see it on the news. At Taft High School, the teacher was surprised. And then by Tuesday, Thursday, or they're tired of. Didn't we run 3 of those this week? We're not doing another story. So I wanted her to make sure she was first, and so that's why we did it. And she was surprised and teared up and everything like that. So that's huge for us. Some of you have heard this. I mean, we've been in the news lately a lot for a lot of good things. The Taft robotics team, they competed in the Midwest regionals and they won. They beat. Okay, we're used to beating Lane. Okay, I'm okay with that. We're used to beating Northside. We're beating schools like IMSA. University of Chicago lab schools. These are the schools that we're beating, and we won the Midwest regionals. They competed in the World Championships in Houston. 500 teams were there. They won. They were in 50. So first time there, they took top 10%. Some team from Google won it. Okay, big deal. But, they got the money to spend on that. But we're me. I'm like we're going after Google next year. So, and they were also honored at the CPS board meeting. So it's almost, if you're bored and you want to go watch the meeting, they are on there and they did a really nice job of thanking the board because the CPS did give them $5,000 to go to World. Our Network 14 gave a $5,000 and they also had all these gold pledges. And so a lot of people were supporting us. This month was a fun month for me. I've had breakfast with the principal, meeting with the seniors and the juniors, talking about what they love about the school. And I think I was telling Bridget before, I always go around, tell me your favorite teacher. And with 40 kids in there, not one of them is saying the same teacher over and over. It's all different ones. And so we have a lot of teachers touching these kids' hearts, which is amazing, giving me suggestions for what we want in the future. A lot of kids are echoing what I want to have. I'd like to have an American Sign Language class taught here. I think that would be a really good idea. They were like, yes, I would love a culinary arts program here. Being in the hospital, all I did was watch Guy Fieri on the Food Channel, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta have, we gotta have a culinary arts here. So, and then also an aviation program where our kids can take classes on Saturdays at Lewis University and get credits. How nice that you could come to Taft, get a culinary arts degree, learn how to fly, and learn American Sign Language. So those are some of the things we have in the future. We also had some ideas about the bathrooms and stuff like that. Kids had told me, Mr. G, you're never going to stop it. And I'm like, I love theirs right now. I love theirs. So we're going to do the best we can. Sports camp registration is well underway. Most camps are just $15. Okay. It's nice because CPS kind of subsidized us with something called the OST funds, where we no longer have to charge the camps like $50 or $60. And then so we could pay the coaches. CPS is kind of footing the bill for that. So most of our camps are $15. The only one that's more is football camp, which is $50, but that's the most. And so my goal when it was put out there is I know all the other private schools around here have had their camps out there for a while. I'm hoping that they're all calling saying, how do I cancel? How do I cancel? Because I'm going to go to Taft now that they got their camps. Before COVID was shut us down, we had about 1,000 kids competing or here in the summer program. I'm a little disappointed, but it'll be better next year as I wanted more academic classes. I would have liked a drone camp and a robotics camp and some other stuff. But we do have some academic camps, but really was sports camps that really are the majority of it. We can do better next year. We have Illinois Junior Academy of Science state competition held in Peoria. Gabrielle Dilag had a gold certificate there. NJROTC finished first in Area 3 on the national academic exam and 43rd in the country. You can see the theme here. We're not just competing in the state anymore. We're competing in the country now, which is what Taft should be doing. Lana Smith was selected to display her artwork in the 2022 All-City High School exhibition. I know somebody won, but I don't know if I have it on here. So, Bridget, you know who won? Didn't we have an eighth grader that won? Offhand, you? Yeah, I knew it came in. I didn't get it on here. We do have the Congressional Art Competition. Olga, I'll mess her name up. Maclay took first. Skylar Powell took third. And also invited was Lorraine McNaughton. And Gianna Brito, it might be Brito, has signed up for the Teach Chicago Tomorrow program. These are kids that are in CPS that say, I want to be a teacher in CPS. And then CPS is going to help them move ahead. We had parent-teacher conferences held at the varsity campus. I think that went well. It's really nice how we're doing it online and coming in, really nice. Met with an alumni group and the landscapers to plant a memorial tree for Frank Hood. It's right out that window right there. Before you go, it's behind the backstop. A lot of people were here. They were crying, telling Frank Hood stories. His wife was here telling some stories. So it was really nice. We probably had about 30 people here from the classes of 1992, 93. Gave them a little tour of the school. So they're going to be back for some of our games. Third annual Cutest Pet Contest is voting underway. I think voting ends this week. We got cutest dog, cutest cat, and cutest other pet. And we have a snake in there and a turtle. So vote for that. Hosted breakfast with the principals today with Dr. Tavardi and Mary Kay Capitelli couldn't make it. She had a under the weather this morning, but Dr. Tavardi was here and we walked around this campus. We had breakfast with our IB students, our seniors, and then we walked around and it was really, really nice to see all the teachers. I thought they were giving too much love to him in front of me, but you know, they were doing what they needed to do. So, I could tell Art, I know Art, he was touched by it. He really was. And just the walking by the classroom and people doing the double take and like, I'll be back. And they'll run out and they're giving him a hug and stuff like that. And so, because he hired a majority of our teachers here at this building, and he would, and like our kids told him in the lunchroom, we're on the foundation that you built, Dr. Tavardi, and we thank you for that with the academic center, with the IB program. So it was really nice. And we're going to have, he was too tired to go to the freshman academy today. We were going to get him in my car and walk him over there. He said, Mark, I'm kind of beat. And so, because he was about 2 hours walking around here. So Mary Kay is going to come back probably in about a week or two when she's feeling better. And we'll just start over at the freshman academy so they can see that, because I think they need to see what's happening over there. Let's see, I'm still a member of the Network 14 High School Principal Advisory Board. Tomorrow I have to present a problem of practice to all the other principals, and they're going to give me advice on what to do. My problem of practice is getting kids here at 7:30. Some surprise to all of you right now, right? We have too many kids still walking in here late. And so it's starting to affect the grades, because I did run a report that there is a direct correlation with the amount of kids that are walking in late and the amount of Fs we have first period. So I'm looking forward to soliciting some advice from them. And then high school summit. A couple of things. We have senior prom. It's going to be a big event. I think we have 560 kids signed up for that. It's going to be the first party that the kids have had, I think, in a long time. It's going to be really nice. If we have any seniors here, if you read the bulletin, I laid the gauntlet down. I said that the teachers and the staff are going to show you how to dance. We're going to get jiggy with it. We're going to be busting a move and pumping up the jam. And someone, what's pumping up the jam? What's that about? I said, you just Google it, okay? And so I got a lot of kids coming up to me. Oh, we're doing a line. Oh, we're going to do a line. Said, okay, we'll do your. So it's fun. We're kind of egging them on a little bit. We're looking forward to that. Senior graduation. If you haven't gone, please go. I really recommend it. It really is emotional and it's good. It's 2 hours. You can hang through it. It's a really good time. 8th grade graduation is on Monday, June 13th. And again, we have the alumni picnic. Last thing I have, which is kind of a weird thing. I believe we have eagles in every continent on the planet except the one. What continent do you think they're not in? Any geography people here?
Antarctica.
Antarctica. But we will have one next month.
What?
An alumni came here looking for his transcripts because he's going to get, he's a fireman in the neighborhood and he applied for a job on Antarctica. So he's going to go. He just needed to do it. So we will have an eagle in Antarctica, which I think is kind of kooky and fun. So he's going to send us a picture. I gave him some Taft swag. I said, I want pictures of you standing next to an Antarctica sign looking like you're really cold, and mail it to me and we'll get it in our newsletter. So that's kind of nice. So that's it. Any questions at all? Long, but I think really good for us. Good.
Awesome. All right, we are going to move to budget.
Budget. Okay. A couple of big budget ticket items that we have usually in May. I'll go through them one at a time, but they're all standard. But I will take questions on any of them. First one I have is, and one of these might not be on here, but we do have Compass Transportation, which we normally have every month, is for $26,495. So that's our usual. It's real thick. It's our bus orders for the month for all of our teams and clubs to go places. So that's $26,492 or $490.
Doesn't it also include the transport?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay. So it's a lot of buses. So that's one of them. That's over $10,000. We have Herff Jones, which is graduation caps and gowns. We will be getting that money back as the kids pay their money for graduation. So, but we got to front it first. So that's $20,795. Get that one out. Kirk Jones. We have one for the wrestling room. Let me explain this one. We are going to be moving the wrestling room from the 3rd floor, which I think is 320, small little room. We are going to move the wrestling room down to the smaller of the 2 gyms on the 2nd floor. We are going to get some pads to go all the way around and the pads to go on the ground. Those pads cost $32,000. We have a company called Beat the Streets, who's kind of like a feeder system in the neighborhood for wrestling. They are going to give us, they're going to sell us that. They are a CPS vendor. They're going to sell us those mats for like $24,900, and then we'll put them in the room. So we're getting a $7,000 deal right away. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work with a contract with them, with real estate and everything, that they get to come in and use it and stuff like that. But there'll also be a feeder system. So it's a win because we get another room next year when our population is going to grow a little bit. We got a win because we're going to turn the wrestling room into a bigger room, and we're going to get a win because we got feeder kids coming in here. And anytime you get kids off the street to get to see Taft, and not just, oh, there's Taft, it's scary in there. It's always a good thing. So those are the 3 I have on here. I have a couple that are not on my list. The one is what we were going to meet at the beginning of the month. Rosemont Theater is for $30,000. So I need an approval for that one. We got to get that one in by tomorrow. 30,000. And then the last one which wasn't on here was the Hyatt Regency O'Hare for $40,200. $40,200. That's for the senior prom. But I'm letting everybody know, so it's in the minutes right now. That may go up. Right now we have 560, but we normally have some kids that forgot the deadline, didn't ask it, and all of a sudden now they want to take a date because everybody else is taking the date, and I got to find one. So that may go up. So 40,200, but may go up a little bit, but not much. Any questions on that? Okay, so we have book transfers and budget transfers. Book transfers are when we transfer from internal accounts to pay some bills. So we have instructional fees to pay for athletics, lawn signs, caps and gowns from internal accounts. Again, we're just kind of fronting the money until we get the money back. The kids have had their lawn signs now. All of my senior parents, you should have a lawn sign by now. It should be displayed proudly in front of any lane sign on your lawn. And then we have instructional fees to pay for the wrestling room. Again, that's going to come internal accounts. That basically is going to be a wash. That's going to pay for the amount we just had. Budget transfers, these come from our 115 funds or our SBB funds. All of our new LSC members probably when you come here, when is their first time? Is it
July.
It's July. I'll have a special meeting for everybody, probably a half an hour meeting where I'll go over all the budgets with you. So when we start talking about budgets, you feel a little bit more comfortable. Maybe Mr. Gorder knows it because he works for CPS, but I can answer any question or anything, but we'll go over budgets, okay? So the budget transfers, we've got robotics was $23,200. Again, CPS gave us $5,000. The STEM Network 14 gave us $5,000. We gave them $5,000 in internal accounts, which we got back because they got a whole bunch of money for GoFundMe and stuff like that. So 23,000. Next one's a big one. Mark, why are we paying $320,000 to offset negatives? If you remember, about 3 months ago, CPS came in and they said, hey, listen, you didn't meet your enrollment advance, and now we want money back. So we want $705,000 back. Okay, well, how am I supposed to continue working the rest of the year? I have no money to pay for buses or anything. Oh, we'll give you some money back in a couple weeks. And they gave us back $595,000. Weird accounting, never heard of it in my life, but that's what they did. And so we're going to play by the rules, but we have to offset some of those negatives. It's like you can't write a check unless you pay off, unless you get money in your checking account. So that 320 is offsetting some of the negatives that these have because it got pulled into that $795,000. Does that make sense? Okay, and the last one is for an IB conference and travel. We have two of our administrators, Ms. Greenblatt, Mr. Flores, have wrote a proposal and will actually be presenting at the IB conference in San Diego in the summertime, which is a big deal because they're going to show everybody in IB schools on how you can have an IB wall-to-wall program, but really we say we're a wall-to-wall program, but we're not. And what I say about that is we have the middle schools, the MYP, the middle years program goes to when they're sophomores, okay? And then after that, if you're not in the IB diploma or you're not in the individual where you're going to take a CP class, you're not in IB at all. And so what Ms. Greenblatt done, Mr. Flores, Mr. Kuzma, and all of the APs really looked at it. Every junior is going to take an IB English comp class so that we are going to be a wall to wall, okay? So that's huge for us. And so we're going to subsidize it. We'll get 7 teachers going there to watch them. And then IB conference is real cool because you'll learn a lot of stuff. You got a lot of presenters. It's from around the world, which is nice. And you get to hobnob with people. So that's real nice. Any questions on that? I just have one more thing then. No, the last thing is going to be my recommendation next year. And again, I don't need approval from the LSC. I just have to let you know is I'm going to raise the fees next year to $495 from $450. Again, I don't think it's that much when you come down to it. We have a 40 weeks in the school year. It comes down to like $1.25 every week for a Taft education right now, of which you're getting a free breakfast, a free lunch, and an outstanding education. If you can't afford it, I understand that. We have about half of our parents and families that are free and reduced, so it really doesn't affect them at all. Raise it to $1 million. I don't care, Mr. G, because I can't pay it. We understand that. So it's not affecting those. The people that are affecting it, I understand these times are tight for everybody. Like I said, $1 a week for a Taft education, I think is pretty good. We haven't raised it now for 5 years since I've been here, so it's kind of time. What that's going to go for right now is when I just told you about all the juniors are going to take the IB English comp as juniors. They're not going to pay for those tests. They like it. Yeah, Mr. G, that's a great program. Everybody's going to do it. But so far, they have not agreed to pay for those tests for those kids. So we may have to pay for those tests, which might be $30,000 or $40,000. If they eventually pay for those tests, we'll use that money somewhere else. We always do when we find a good place for it. So any questions on budget? I'm getting a horse voice.
Yeah.
No?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see. Use your thing here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
I make a motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anybody abstaining? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you for that report, Mr. G.
All right.
Good evening now.
I will.
All right. Oh, sorry. So we still have we don't have a CIWP presentation because Flores and Greenblatt are not here.
Yeah, CIWP, it's just real quick. Everybody knows it's a 2-year continuous improvement work plan. This would have been the planning year for the next 2 years. CPS has said, you know what, a lot's going on. We get it. People aren't exactly thrilled about getting together with committees right now. Everybody's stressed and doing their thing right now. We'll let you continue it 1 more year, which makes sense. We really haven't implemented it for 2 years. So why not give us 1 more year to implement it? So really, that's what CIWP is.
All right. We'll move on to item 5B, chair report. I don't have anything for us tonight. So we'll move on to C, the committee chair reports. And we'll start with the budget committee and on Ms. Raguso, since Mr. Sclera is here, if you'd like to take that.
Mr. Rishaber mentioned, our next meeting is at the Freshman Academy, June 14th at 5:30. Hope to see you there.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Raguso? Okay, we'll be moving on to B, the Professional Personnel Leadership Committee, PPLC, with Ms. Trebbing and Mr. Plenster.
Yeah, PPLC met yesterday after school. And I can put a report in the LSC drive, but sort of the highlights from that meeting, a recommendation about how we do some of our professional development time. August, we come back, make recommendations about weekly professional development time. Specific recommendations about meeting. Asking to be more frequently, so make those recommendations next year. And then we also recommended, some way to start looking at, because we do not have a library in our campus, nor do we have like open, we have computer labs that we use for classes, but not like open computer labs, so we've had students need for things. And it's resources that they can get in libraries, we can use to have like classrooms, resource center, departments, something. Aspects of those resources that they would get in either.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, moving on to C, the Facilities Committee meeting, Mr. Russo.
Madam Chair, we had today at 4:30, regards to the varsity campus. Hopefully you all have seen our plaque that was donated by the class of,
All of them,
all of
but
them.
mostly 59.
It's our alumni plaque. And it's just gonna do some reading around the base of it so that it touches on it. We continue to have custodial issues both here and at the freshman academy. One good issue here at the varsity campus is that there was a position, a PM shift, that the section of the high school didn't get covered really because it's sort of in a, it's the lack of early rooms 242, 219. It actually got filled. But you can see the outside still, garbage is not being collected because they have to focus on the inside. And that's just an ongoing battle with CPS and the folks who hold the facility. Some good news, this is something actually I've been a pain in the butt about since I got here. We have 9 rooftop units. We brought the capital planning team out. They came and they assessed. All the units need to be ultimately replaced. But what they have agreed to do is they are going to upgrade all 9 units with new cooling mechanicals, which means that it should help regulate on days like today so that rooms don't, you know, our folks aren't sweating. So that's really great news. We're waiting to hear when the work will get started. My guess is it'll be after school is over, so hopefully in time for the fall classes, when we usually have a week or two of like 90 degree days. The PA system, as we mentioned plenty of times before, there are going to be upgrades. We're still waiting for the final scope on that, and Pat is going to be following up to try to solidify that. Again, most likely believe that work will happen over summer. Bathrooms is always a question. However, since we put the schedule in place, it seems like kids understand what the schedule is. Defer to the teachers unless they have something, but I do agree with the students, and I know we'd like a good challenge. And as Laura has said, the issues that when she was here a couple of years ago versus the issues that are here now are pretty much the same. And they're the same in almost every high school. So I think you'll get like the Nobel Peace Prize if you can crack that issue. And we talked about having a sophomore orientation in the fall so that when our kids come over from the freshman academy, those kids that never stepped foot in this building before won't feel lost on their first day so that they have familiarity when they enter the campus and feel not lost. So we're going to try to work on getting a day so that all our new kids can come in and just have a little sense of orientation. The freshman academy is looking fine, except again, we're facing custodial issues there too. It's a chronic problem we're having, and I don't know how this gets resolved anytime soon, but the good news is that we are fully staffed here now. Any questions on my report?
I have one question I didn't even, like, I literally didn't think of it earlier, like that. Meeting. Yeah. Secretary, have you explored with CPS getting us funded and have like a groundskeeper position? Like, I know we started thinking about that at CFA, but the way they design the field, like, difficult, like, what is the possibility of that ever being like a CPS funded? I don't know, maybe it has to be somebody split between both campuses, but like.
Good point. I actually asked that a couple of years ago because I was telling Dr. Tavardian as we walked around today, and I said, one of my goals is to really make our campus grounds beautiful. And I said, if I don't do that, nobody does that. There's nobody that comes out and say, put trees over here and do this. I had asked a couple of years ago, if I can hire a position and just make them the groundskeeper. And just like, I will pay them like a clerk, like $30,000 a year, and then they will go around and I can say, hey, listen, I need you to fix up this area over here. And they nixed that. They said I could not. We do have landscapers here that come out every 2 weeks, and I'm actually really happy with them. They do a really good job when they're here. But again, they are maintenance. They are not visionaries as far as what they need to do. Like, we have all these trees here, and if you notice, these sections are all done right now because I've hired a landscaper. His name's Julian, to come here, and out of every yearly budget, I go in there and say, okay, we got $20,000, Julian. What are we going to do? And we're slowly working our way around the building. So we started at Natoma and Hurlbut. We cleaned out all those trees over there. We've walked over here to Natoma. You can see if you step back on Natoma, all the big bushes are gone, and now it's more got some more symmetry going, and he's got some other things there. So he has the vision. So in a way, I've hired a landscaper, but he's a CPS vendor, not our own. And he's an expert too, because like I was saying, I made the mistake years ago when we had the church here. They wanted to donate $800, and I said, you know what? How about if you buy a bunch of hostas for us and you guys plant them on a Saturday? And they said, perfect. And they did. But what I didn't understand is I'm not a landscaper, and that place we were planting all the hostas had too much sun. So Julian knows this, our landscaper. So he's going around and saying, Mark, they've got 8 hours of sun. These are the plants they're going to do. So right now, our landscaper, who we've hired as a contractor, is turning the corner around where it says "You are beautiful," and now we're working on that base over there. He's got some plants that are going to go there that is going to make it less gruff there, and these are plants that are going to have full sun all day long. So to answer your long-winded question, if CPS won't let us hire it, I hire the vendor to do it.
Because the full-time groundskeeper, I mean, we have almost 5,000 students and 300 staff members, and like Chris just mentioned, like earmark for the staff where they can clean the floor in my classroom. Yeah. So they're definitely not getting out the garbage outside.
Yeah.
Like the daily, like, it's such a big school.
Yeah.
We have beautiful things.
I appreciate you saying that. I think, you know, what's frustrating is walking in and there's just garbage everywhere. And this is I mean, we're in a great neighborhood. We have a beautiful campus, and there's trash all over the place. And it's very frustrating. Someone who's lived in this board for her entire life that, you know, the school is now what it is. I just wish that's actually a great idea. I just think it's unfortunate that CPS can't think outside the box, and if we're able to free up some funds. I get the landscaper, and they're doing an incredible job, and we need that. But it's the day-to-day. I spend a lot of time at that varsity field for soccer now, and all the trash cans are overflowed every single day.
That's our custodial issue.
And then as you walk, there's just garbage everywhere, and I don't know how it looks in freshman academy, but I gotta believe it's.
Well, there's some examples of CPS creating their own problem. Our building engineer has to spend, Mr. Block to be able to tell us like the clock hours, CPS, and you're like engineer guys, but you know, they built that field and it's a brand new field, but it's antiquated. The watering, and so our building engineer has to go out and manually do all this crazy. He spends so much time.
As I get more involved, I can explain you the ins and outs of the facility, how it works. I was on a committee, when they brought Airmark in. So, you know, I can handle the ins and outs. You're beating your head against the wall.
Sorry, I just forgot, like,
No, I just thought I did that. And I
do think it's something.
never say die. I mean, I think it's an important issue. I know other schools, you know, they just want to have books to read, you know, and we're saying we want our garbage picked up, but we need to advocate for ourselves.
I will ask Mr. Gorder, I know you don't come on the LSC until July, but if we're going to start looking at our units right after school, if somehow you could connect with Leonard and just kind of talk to him about what you're on. So when you come on, you speak his language. So if you can talk to him before you come on, that'd be great, Dean. And Leonard Johnson. Yeah, Leonard. Yeah.
No, that's us.
No, we have a field.
That's us.
Oh, the other, okay.
Yeah, it's actually St. Pat's Field. Wing. Chicago Park District.
Yeah.
St. Pat's. No, we have a beautiful field. They didn't sprinkler it. There was no water considered to water the grass.
Yeah.
It's not turf. It's
crap, yeah, it's a lot of work.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, we gotta figure
You
that
know
out.
what, let's please, if I'm not gonna be here, just try to, my voice on this, just try to speak money. It's really sad. That concludes my report. Any other questions? Then our next meeting is 4:30 at the Freshman Academy. It will be our last of the 2022 school.
Thank you, Mr. Gusso. Okay, we're gonna move on to item CD, little d, back bilingual advisory council. Is there anybody here from that has anything to report out? Okay, we will move on to E, Safety and Security Committee. Ms. McDormand, your report?
We actually at 3:15, first item we discussed was security updates. We do have, 2 new security guards, one at Taft Academy and Freshman Academy, and Ms. Rivera who's at, varsity. We have in the pipeline, we're still searching for one more security officer. We had somebody, but they kind of backed up. Okay, so we're still looking for one more with the team. As always, we continue to appreciate our amazing security team and their continual efforts to help keep our schools safe and orderly. So, everyone, thank you. Hallway washroom updates. The color coordinated passes were released on March 25th at the varsity campus. Security team continues to coordinate with the custodial team to ensure traffic remains smooth throughout the hallways and washrooms, especially during the school night testing this past month. So there's a lot of clear communication going on. Nothing is perfect, but the kids aren't asking what bathrooms are not open. I guess there's a lot of communication. So this bathroom's shut down, this bathroom's open. The kids aren't like lost and wondering where to go. Next, I know an email was sent out from CPS about the numbers for COVID, saying that they were the same as like January, and so a lot of parents were concerned with what's going on with Taft. We're actually below the threshold. As of today, we have 21 students on quarantine and 8 staff, so we're doing very well for the threshold. So that whole email that went out was kind of like based on, entire CPS, so I'm sure maybe there are schools that have a lot more numbers, but Taft is doing well. And the last thing we talked about was the whole school safety plan. Right now, we're in phase 3, which is developing the plan. There's a meeting tomorrow for the WSS. It's pretty much just nothing has to be changed. It was just reviewing the plan, making amendments. We're ahead of schedule and finalizing the plan. Hopefully on May 16th, Mr. Spears will finalize the plan and hoping to get it out to LSC by June 1st. So we can have a schedule. This is ongoing for SROs for next year. And a survey did go out to parents, staff, and students.
You're gonna make us vote again on the SROs next year?
We have to vote.
Oh, I think we vote every year on it.
Well, it just happened because CPS just dumped it on us, but if you recall, it's not in our duties as an LSC to make this type of decision, so.
All 3 of the surveys have gone out. And we've got the
Surveys
results.
have gone out. The surveys will speak when you see the numbers.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
And that was it. Last meeting again will be at 15.
All right, thank you, Ms. McDormand. Okay, we have our student rep reports. I see Ms. Lim, you'll be our one student reporting tonight. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone. There's not much to report. I think a few things. But many students have expressed concern for rising COVID-19 cases. And then also many students have noticed a new clock outside of the main entrance. Just not on time. It's up on 7 o'clock.
No, it's fixed today.
It's changed today.
Today we fixed it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sure that was intentional.
I'm like, at least stick it at 7:30, will you?
Right.
It's not in 7:30.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they fixed it today though. Yeah.
So it works. It's not-
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And just finally, good luck to all students taking AP, IB exams. Very stressful time. but
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Skylar.
Thank
Did
you.
take AP?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
basically 3 plus art.
Great job.
Mhm.
Great job.
Yeah.
Wow. Any questions for Ms. Lim?
Skylar, where are you going to college?
DePaul.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
Woo, look at you.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Great job.
Okay, moving on to C little G, our arts report. Ms. Strebbing?
Go for it.
Okay.
So, one thing Mr. Grosshopper shared already, but we have Taft students, who were winners in the annual congressional arts competition. They got a reception, this past week, at the Old Town School for Music. And a student, and I'm sorry, I don't know all those like exactly, was a first place winner, and that means their artwork will be on display at the new Capitol building.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She did gorgeous. And she and I believe her family, they get drawn to.
Do we have a picture of that on the website?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Which is a big deal. Our teacher, Eric Cabral, is organizing, I think this is the second annual, it's a projection mapping project that is essentially artwork is being projected from inside the school and we come out to along outside the school that evening to view the student work, and that this year is going to be on June 1st. Oh, and it says this year will be accompanied by music from the Taft Music Department.
Oh, nice.
Mr. Grosshopper also shared about camps that are happening here this summer. One of them is being offered by our arts department, which is a photo camp. Where they'll be using traditional photographic practices and contemporaries, which are using a math lab and in drama, the Student Director Play Festival opens next week. Be the largest in Taft history, 10 plays over 2 weeks, speaking work with over 50 students, all directed by students from directing classes. It runs May 16th through 18th and May 23rd through 25th, with each week featuring a unique slate of plays. And I, of course, always say please see staff performances if you haven't, because they're always good. There's also a plug, it looks like, for Mr. Nadig, who, in his own work as a musician and artist, he has an album that's just out, singing Mr. Nadig.
Wow.
Taft's Student Cabaret Night was a great success. This was on May 6th, here in the Student Commons, a student concert fundraising event featuring performances by over 30 members of Taft's various performing arts clubs.
Wow.
And then Eagle Stock, like Woodstock, apparently, like on the image. Eagle Stock is coming Friday, June 10th, from roughly 3:30 to 7 in the football stadium. Many of Taft's music classes, bands, and choirs will be performing on the field with protective staging. It's not hurt the field. The audience will be seated in the stadium bleachers. There will be student-designed T-shirts, concessions, possibly a food truck, dogs as well. It'll be more info coming soon.
Nice.
That Eagle
impressive.
stock is going to be really good because it's a collaboration from a lot of different departments. And as an example, one of the songs they're going to sing, they'll have like a guy, like in the drama department, they'll have a guy saying like, but I want to stay together. And she's like, I can't do it, but I want to stay together. So they're doing like a little bit of a play, and then they separate, and then all of a sudden, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And so they sing. So it's like a collaboration of the different departments. So I highly recommend coming out like that.
Wow.
It's really going to be cool. Yeah. The T-shirts are really cool for being a Woodstock baby myself.
Sounds great. Any questions on the art
Shout out
report?
to Mr. Cohen.
Yeah.
Yay.
Just take credit for that, Mr. Cohen, and I'm glad you're done here. You have done that. Okay, go ahead, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the athletics report. Ms. Cobb is not here, so she sent me a little text.
I got it here.
Oh, do you have it? Okay,
did.
you want
It was
to
sent
give
to-
it?
No, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm good. So I'll do it real quick. Girls lacrosse had an exciting season so far. We took on a lot of new talent this year, and we've seen huge improvements individually as a team. We look forward to CPS playoffs. So that's code talk. We didn't do that good this year, but we're really trying. But yeah, that's a start now. So boys lacrosse is coming together at the right time, and they finished third this season. Monday, the varsity faced Mather in the first round of the CPS tournament, and they beat Mather 17-1. And then they take on rivals Lane Tech in the quarterfinals on Wednesday. Girls rugby had a weird spring with games canceled, moving due to weather. They haven't built any momentum. They were able to make the playoffs and will take on Chillicothe this weekend in the first round. Boys rugby, they will be seeded in the playoffs this weekend. Girls water polo, the team finished 6th in the city. We're currently looking forward to competing in the sectionals. We are in the York Elmhurst sectional and seeded 6th out of 9 teams. We will be playing Oak Park River Forest this Thursday. Girls soccer, the Taft women's soccer team began the season on a team building trip to White Pines Ranch. I went there one time. It's really a nice place. Yeah, it's really a fun place. The girls, okay, well, I'll say it. The girls went horseback riding, learned to groom a horse, went on hay rides, and learned a few line dance steps. We have had an overall successful season with a record of 16-5-1. We won our conference, and we were moving up to the top conference in CPS, premier for the next year. This was our first year in the PepsiCo tournament, and we were champions of our bracket.
This isn't great. This
Is
is
it-
from like 3 years ago.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. That's when, what's her name? No, that's when Coach.
Yeah, because it says our
Yeah.
player senior Nikki Gorder.
Medencia, that's Coach Medencia.
Yeah. So I didn't make this announcement 3 years ago, so I thought I would make it tonight. I don't know what. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know why I got this, but there you go. All of our teams always do well. So we're doing.
Okay. All right. Well.
That's okay.
I had to correct you.
All right.
Yeah.
No. Okay, moving on to item 5D, Friends of Taft PTSA report out, Ms. Bernacki.
Okay, so I did not receive an update from the PTSA. I don't know if you have any.
No, PTSA did buck up for the lunch for our report card pickup day, so that was nice of them.
Okay, so how did that work? Did they bring food or you just?
I went to Dino's and ordered it and they paid it, yes.
Okay, so I don't know anything else about that. Miss Lundy from the Taft alumni sent a update. She said right now we are starting to judge the Alumni Association scholarships. They received nearly 20 applications. June 4th is the deadline for submissions of the Taft Alumni Association Hall of Fame nominations. And that is all I have for them.
Thank you, Anita.
Okay, thank you. All right, old business. 6A, restorative justice training, update on when the training is scheduled and who will lead. Do we get that worked out? I know that we had all the testing going on, so.
We did. We're going to have a what we call a 3, 4, 5, 6, which means all of our teachers and staff members have off either period 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay,
They're required to attend a training, and it's going to be led by Addison Spear, and I believe he's got some help from CPS too, but it's going to be on restorative practices in the classroom.
okay,
How to diffuse situations, how to help kids cope a little bit better.
okay,
The teachers have actually asked for that, and so we're coming for it.
all right. And then it looks like 6B was answered earlier about with Ms. McDormand in the safety and security meeting about the post-school safety plan. The surveys were sent out. So now we move on to 7, new business, which is certifying the LSC election result. And I have those here. And there was nothing was contested. So the good news is everybody that ran will be on the LSC for the 2022 to 2024 school year starting in July. We will send out information about what the date and time for those meetings, the start of the meetings. That is Paul Connolly, myself, Dean Gorder, and how do you say your last name? Beaulieu. Mary Kay Cobb will now move from a staff member since she's retiring to a community rep. Margie Botcher, is that, do you understand? Will also be a community rep. Princess Pyle, who's a junior, will move forward her senior year to be one of our 3 student reps. We'll retain our teachers, Miss Doherty Trebbing and Mr. Plensner, and our non-teacher staff representative will be Maribel Gorgas. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you for running and for volunteering for Taft.
Thank you.
Okay, and So we are now at 8, which is public participation, which is a 2-minute comment period. I don't think anybody signed up in person, but if you want to comment and you are online, you, Mr. Trin will let you on, and you have 2 minutes, and please give us your name and your relationship to Taft, and then ask your comment. You want to? Tersha, I'm sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. Zigenbein.
That's a good attempt, actually. It's Tersha Ziegenbein. Hello. I am a parent of 2 students at the freshman campus, and I just wanted to speak tonight to address the lack of discipline and control of the students at the freshman campus. I wanted to speak specifically to the administration and ask what is what, I'm sorry? Oh, I wanted to ask what their plan is to address students vaping and dealing drugs in the bathrooms, the cafeteria, and in the classrooms. Not to mention the physical assaults between students in the hallways and bathrooms. These fights are being recorded with audio, and I don't understand how adults in the school building are not hearing the yelling during these altercations. Also, the level of disrespect that the teachers endure on a daily basis, with certain students going out of their way to disrupt the classroom environment. They're refusing to stop talking back and over their teachers when their teachers are speaking. They will coordinate with each other to, in a timely manner, play ringtones from their phones over and over. And actually, last week, they were watching pornography on their phones. And I pretty upset about this, and it's absolutely unacceptable. I'm not the only parent that is angry and frustrated about the chaos that is occurring at this campus on a daily basis. And this is not what I envisioned my kids for their high school years. The parents and students deserve to have an immediate plan to not only address these issues, but to stop them. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you for your comment. I'm sure the administration will have an update for us on those things. Was there a second person who was Erica Martinez? Did you want to introduce yourself and leave it, or do you want us to read your comment? Let's see. I was wondering where kids can wait when they have early dismissal and they have after-school program. My daughter was told by security that she needs to leave the building and come back. I don't think it is safe for the kids to roam around. As a parent, her safety is a concern to me. Do we have a place?
We normally, if your daughter or son has a club or a sport, your coach will tell you where you can meet. It's usually going to be a classroom or some area of the building. That should be addressed to you or told to you by your coach. So I'll make sure that the coaches and moderators all know to let their kids know where they're supposed to meet when we have. It's usually what's called a C-Bell schedule. About every 3rd Wednesday, we get the kids get out about an hour earlier so our teachers can meet. So I'll try to let our staff know. And I'm not ignoring the last question. It's just so multifaceted as far as the security goes. You've told me nothing that I'm not aware of already, and we try to be as proactive as we can. These are problems going on in almost every high school in the United States. The solution is tough, but the problem is multifaceted. So we don't turn a blind eye to it. Again, we can ask. I only have a limited number of teachers and a limited number of faculty members and security members. So we ask kids, when you see something, say something. And you don't have to snitch. You can do it anonymously online, and you can let us know. So we tell kids, if after 5th period the kids are gathering in one bathroom to vape, we can then send security over there. So it's a difficult problem, especially when kids have they can instantaneously text each other and maneuver and be 3 steps ahead of us. if we are gonna watch one bathroom, they can say, go to bathroom by 2:15, and then they're all over there. So it's tough, not impossible, but I'm not turning a blind eye to it, but I'm letting you know, I've hired about 3 more security guards this year. We do have multi-patrols. We do have security officers set up in front of bathrooms that have had problems. Again, we can't stop 2 kids that are gonna fight each other right now. We can just break it up. This is not, and like I've told in other meetings, this is not unusual for our school or any school. What is unusual is that these fights are being recorded and put on social media immediately. So a lot of times it seems like we have more fights than we used to, but it really is because of the instantaneous way. I had, like I told somebody a couple, like last meeting, there was 2 kids pushing each other in the hallway when we walked by and we separated them. I walked into the lunchroom and everybody was watching that altercation on their phone in the lunchroom, because there's something called AirDrop, which they can put it on there and it notifies everybody, are you attacked? Watch this video. So again, we're 3 steps behind technology right now as far as helping this, but I guarantee that's the minority of what you're seeing and not the majority of what you're seeing. 98% of our kids are wonderful kids. Other kids that come to school, they sometimes bring some stuff with them, some emotions and some family issues that if you found out about them, you would be going, oh my God. So we're trying to help these kids as we find out as best we can. So.
Okay, thank you for your public comments. Was there any other, anybody else waiting in there? Was it just those 2? Okay, so we're moving on from our public comment period to number 9, adjournment.
Make a motion.
Anybody second that? All those in favor? Good night. Thank you again, everybody, for being here and taking your time.